Police swarming his Jefferson Crossing home, saving his life. And the flight out of state, the critical treatment he's receiving tonight. Fox 61 is live in the Bronx.
Plus, the decision about his civil attorney also charged in the disappearance of Jennifer Doulos. Thanks for joining us tonight at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Jen Bernstein. A bombshell breaking in the Fotis Dulos case, the accused murderer attempting suicide.
Fotis Dulos found unresponsive at his Farmington home. Police performing a welfare check after Dulos failed to show up to a scheduled court appearance in Stamford. Police saying he was inside his car when they found him. Officers performing life-saving measures, transporting him from his Jefferson Crossing home to the Yukon Medical Center, where he was then loaded onto a helicopter.
That helicopter making the journey from Farmington to the Jacobi Medical Center in the Bronx, where Doulos could receive specialized treatment. Fox 61 was the first Connecticut station at that hospital as Fotis Dulos arrived this afternoon.
Doulos has been the center of the case into the disappearance of his estranged wife. He's been charged with murder in connection with her disappearance. Jennifer has been missing, of course, since May 24th of last year. She and Fotis have 5 children together. We've been working on this story since it broke this afternoon.
Carmen Chow is at Fotis Dulos' Jefferson Crossing home in Farmington, where he was found unresponsive. But first, we want to get over to Dave Puglisi. He is outside of the medical center in the Bronx right now. Dave.
Just after 4 p.m., we saw that Lifestar helicopter fly right over our heads and land just over the hill there to drop off Fotis Dulos at the emergency room. Now, Jacobi Medical Center has a hyperbaric chamber, which is imperative for anybody suffering from carbon monoxide poisoning. A Lifestar helicopter made its descent on the emergency room at Jacobi Medical Center in the Bronx, New York. From the air, you can see Fotis Dulos tightly wrapped on a stretcher being moved from the helicopter into an ambulance. That ambulance would take him to the front doors of the emergency room.
He is now listed as critical condition.
Connecticut State Police says Fotis Dulos was found at his Jefferson Crossing home, suffering from obvious signs of medical distress. Dulos was in a vehicle inside his garage.
Officers forced entry and immediately began to perform life-saving measures.
Tents can be seen in front of Doulos' garage from Sky 61. CPR was given to Doulos before being rushed to Yukon Health in Farmington. Lifestar then flew Doulos to Jacobi Medical Center for further treatment. Jacobi has a hyperbaric chamber that provides hyperbaric oxygen therapy. That treatment allows patients to breathe pure oxygen in a pressurized chamber. The one at Jacobi provides pressure 2.5 times stronger than the normal atmosphere.
If you use hyperbaric, you're forcing the oxygen onto the red blood cells in about 30 minutes.
Forcing the oxygen into the bloodstream is the fastest method of reversing potentially life-threatening effects from toxins in the bloodstream, including carbon monoxide poisoning. As for permanent damage one may have,
until they sort of respond and regain their life signs, you don't really know what the end result will be.
And not long ago, we saw Fotis Dulos' attorney, Norm Pattis, leave the emergency room here where he was checking on his client. There is no update on his condition right now. In the Bronx, Dave Puglisi, Fox 61 News.
Dave, thank you very much. Again, earlier today, Sky 61 flying over Doulos' home in Farmington. Emergency vehicles, including an ambulance, on the scene. Farmington police responding before noon for a wellness check after Doulos didn't show up to court this morning.
Now, Fox 61's Carmen Chow is there tonight. Carmen, what have you learned?
Brent and Jen, a much quieter scene compared to what we saw earlier. You can see behind me a police cruiser still parked behind those 2 fences, securing the area. Now, this comes after police responded to Fotis Dulos' home here on Jefferson Crossing this afternoon to find out he attempted to commit suicide.
They could see through a window that Mr. Doulos was sitting in his vehicle.
Yukon Fire for a medic and an ambulance expedited response to number 4 Jefferson Crossing. That's number 4 Jefferson Crossing. No further details are available.
Shortly before noon, police were asked to conduct a well-being check on Fotis Dulos at his Jefferson Crossing home after they say he missed his court appearance in Stamford. That is when police found Doulos in his car in the garage, unresponsive, and CPR had to be immediately administered. Police say Doulos was home alone when the incident happened.
Typically, CPR will be performed for a period of time. If there is any type of life present, the patient would be transported to the hospital, and that's what happened today.
Doulos' attorney, Norm Pattis, told Fox 61 Doulos was rushed to UConn Health for carbon monoxide poisoning, but is currently being treated in a hyperbaric chamber at Jacobi Hospital in the Bronx, where he remains in critical condition. The gag order still in effect. Police were not able to comment much on the investigation, having to respect the judge's order.
Obviously, the Connecticut State Police Major Crimes detectives are doing their best with the state's attorney, one, to respect all legalities here. Currently, right now, they're just holding the scene to determine what happened, and then they'll move forward. But there's still a gag order going on. Detectives were seen browsing Jefferson Crossing, securing the scene. In any crime, any type of crime like this or any investigation, detectives are going to work closely with the family as much as possible and keep them informed. That's their first point of contact.
And police were not able to answer too many questions today since this investigation is still in its preliminary stages. But this is a joint investigation conducted by Farmington Police, the state's attorney's office, and state police. Police also sending out a news release around 8:30 tonight saying if anyone saw what happened to immediately come forward. I'm live in Farmington. Carmen Chow, Fox 61 News.
Carmen, thank you very much. Jennifer Doulos has been missing since May 24th. It's been months of legal wrangling that's led us to today, and the developments that have really blown the criminal aspect of this case wide open.
But it's not just a criminal case. Fox 61's Ben Goldman joins us now with a look at how we got here.
Well, Brett and Jen, this case taking twists and turns for months now. It all started the weekend of Memorial Day last year. Jennifer disappeared after dropping her children off at school. Fotis Dulos quickly becoming a suspect in the case.
It's the story that's captivating the country.
Did you have anything to do with Jennifer's disappearance?
Fox 61 leading the aggressive coverage in the search for answers since the beginning.
Why was your DNA in her New Canaan home?
We are seizing and analyzing every piece of evidence.
Evidence that led investigators to search a Hartford trash facility for weeks on end.
The search and rescue dogs are specifically trained to detect the odor of biological material.
Amid vigils for the missing mother of 5.
May the light of God surround you. May the love of God enfold you.
Then a scathing Gone Girl allegation from Doulos attorney Norm Pattis that Jennifer may have fabricated her own disappearance.
Truth is sometimes inconvenient. It's hurting Fotis.
Followed by groundbreaking video evidence that surfaced showing a man who looks like Fotis dumping trash bags of bloody clothing into storm drains in Hartford. In the days, weeks, and months that followed, the desperate search continued in lakes and reservoirs, and back at Waveney Park in New Canaan, where Jennifer's car was found.
A woman who has disappeared and her car was abandoned right outside the park.
Investigators also scoured every inch of Fotis's multiple homes.
Can you come chat with us? Can you come chat with our camera?
But it's not only a criminal matter. A civil trial has Fotis Dulos battling with Jennifer Doulos' mother, Gloria Farber, for millions in alleged loans.
Let's see what happens today.
A pending family court case has Doulos clamoring for access to his children.
I love my children. I miss them every day.
A free speech-oriented appeal heard before the state Supreme Court on a gag order that's keeping involved parties quiet.
We have waged war, as it were, with the material at our disposal.
A case that's gotten even more complicated with the suicide attempt of the prime suspect.
And today, just the latest in the countless twists and turns of this criminal case surrounding Fotis Dulos. As more information becomes available, we'll continue to keep you updated. I'm Ben Goldman, Fox 61 News. Jen.
Ben, thank you very much. So what does all of this mean for the legal battles facing Fotis Dulos? Defense attorney Jim Bergen spoke with us on the Fox 61 News at 5. He said the civil cases involving Fotis Dulos can go on as scheduled.
It also seems that some of those cases, like the civil case, can move forward even in the event of his death, because then there would still be an estate that could be sued.
Now, somebody else pointed up that whatever he likely has in his will, whatever he has upon his death would probably be available to his kids anyway. That's how most people set it up. Who knows? But they do have to go look at that issue, and that's not something I think that Norm Pattis has been hired for. So it might have been something that Malwini might have normally handled, but he's clearly not suitable. So they got some thinking to do. But you are right that those civil cases are likely to proceed.
Doulos' girlfriend, Michelle Traconis, and his former attorney, Kent Mawhinney, both face charges of a conspiracy to commit murder in connection with the disappearance of Jennifer Doulos.
And we have also learned a judge has temporarily suspended the law license of attorney Kent Mawhinney. That means he will not be able to practice law in Connecticut until further notice. The judge has also appointed 2 attorneys to protect the interests of Mawhinney's clients. Mawhinney is a close friend and former attorney for Fotis Dulos. He has not made bond and remains in prison. Well, our reporters are spread throughout the state searching for answers at his Farmington home and at the New York hospital where he's being treated. We'll bring you another update from the Bronx at 10:30. And now to the Weather Watch. The streak of milder temperatures continues. You don't need the thick coat. You don't need snow boots. You don't need gloves. You don't need the winter gear right now.
You don't, and it's not what we'd expect for January, the middle of January, or the end of January at this point. Meteorologist Rachel Piscatelli has your forecast right now. Rachel.
Yeah, Jen and Brent. Now, certainly we've been above average for the last several days, and actually for the month. The month is about 7 degrees warmer than it should be, and we're going to finish out in above average as we go on through the next several days. Temperatures today ranging in the upper 30s to right around 40 degrees in Hartford, 39 in Chester, 42 in Groton, as well as in New Haven. Overall mild. Our wind speeds generally out of the northwest right now, anywhere from about 5 to 15 miles.